Hello everyone, this is just a little short video just to remind all of you about the literacy marking code, something that we really want to make sure that everybody is using consistently across the school as a whole. So by now, hopefully you have shared these little stickers with all of your students, and they are now at the front of their exercise books. And so having them there is just the first thing that needs to be done. Thereafter is the important bit, which is actually using them when you are marking students' work. Now, for some of you, if there's not a lot of writing, then it might just be just a simple case of one or two things that you're picking up. It might be that you notice that they haven't used a capital letter, so you would put a little C in the margin alongside where the capital letter is missing, where they need one, or whether maybe they've used one incorrectly. In addition, if they have used punctuation in the wrong place, or if they've got punctuation missing, just put a little P in the margin, and if there is a spelling mistake, then make sure that you have put an SP in the margin and that you underline the word that needs to be corrected. The next step after that, obviously we've got these other couple of markings here, so if you notice that they're doing longer pieces of work and they're not paragraphing, then you put a little NP and those two lines in the margin, so NP in the margin and maybe two lines where you think they need to put their new paragraph. And then if something that they've written just simply doesn't make sense, then make sure that you put a little question mark in the margin and a little wavy line underneath what they've written that is unclear. So that's just the first sort of step along the way. After that, they will need to be, when they get their work back, they'll need to spend a few minutes just making those corrections in pink. So that forms the first part of their feed forward and their feed forward lessons. So when you're giving work back to them, it's just saying, don't forget that you need to initially just go back and correct any of your spellings, make sure that you correct your punctuation, your capital letters, and put your paragraphs where they need to go. So it's a really simple little process that when they get used to it as well, you can actually get the students to look at each other's work, and they can just do that in green. So obviously initially you're doing it in purple, but if you've got students doing it, then they can be making their little annotations in green in the margins. So a really simple little strategy that hopefully will help students to think more fully about their use of accuracy, and encourage them to just go back and be careful with their proofreading and so on. Thanks for listening. Oh, and PS, please remember to have glossaries at the back of exercise books. That is a really useful place for students to make sure that they keep a note of any vocabulary that they are not familiar with, or that they're familiar with but they don't know the meaning of, so they are growing in their familiarity and their confidence in using a wider range of vocabulary. So everyone should be using those, and they should be in the back of books. Thank you very much.